trophic cascade refers to the multi-tier food chain-like association most species within an ecosystem participate in. Specifically, this concept refers to the energy transfer caused by consumption. This pyramiding effect occurs pretty much in all ecosystems and is responsible for maintaining the delicate balance of that ecosystem. The most familiar of these cascading systems is called a top-down cascade, where an apex predator controls the population of other animals through predation, which in turn often prevents overgrazing by herbivores and associated habitat erosion. A well-known example of the importance of apex predators in trophic cascades are the wolves of Yellowstone National Park. After complete extermination in the park, wolves were reintroduced in 1995 and a living experiment was created. Before their reintroduction, elk populations had risen to the point that severe overgrazing had occurred, which had a detrimental effect on stream erosion and other animal species, such as the beaver, who had lost the resources necessary to build dams and nearly disappeared from the park. Without the wolves, coyotes experienced mesopredator release and took over the apex role. The coyotes overpreyed on many species such as pronghorns, foxes, and birds, which also had a large effect on lower trophic levels. Upon reintroduction, biodiversity quickly rebounded. The wolves limited the elk populations, which allowed the vegetation to recover and the beavers to return, and scavenger species were provided with a steady year-round food source in the form of wolves' leftovers, which allowed their populations to thrive. In fact, most animals benefited from this arrangement except the mesopredatory coyotes, whose populations quickly dwindled to half, as an example of possum mesopredator release. Although many studies have been conducted to understand the effects apex predators have on the lower trophic levels, such as prey and vegetation, limited research has been conducted to analyze the direct relationship the presence of apex predators have on mesopredator abundance, and prior research has a tendency to focus on the increase of prey abundance when mesopredators are suppressed rather than the apparent decreased abundance of the mesopredators caused by that suppression. Because of this, our research has set out to answer this question. Does the presence of apex predators decrease the abundance of mesopredators? Specifically, we predicted that as the abundance of apex predator species increased, the general abundance of mesopredator present would decrease. To accomplish this, we used the data from over 1,500 camera traps that were deployed in 109 United States locations in the year 2019. Camera trap data was compiled and animal species were sorted by either apex or mesopredator. Species that were not classified as either were omitted for this study. In the end, we had a total of 6 apex predators and 21 mesopredators. Once sorted, apex predator presence and average mesopredator abundance was calculated for 3 categories: sites with 0 apex predators, sites with 1 apex predator, and sites with 2 or more apex predators. What we found is that when the presence of species abundance of apex predators is compared to the general abundance of mesopredators, our hypothesis seems to be supported. As the number of apex predator species increases at a camera site, the amount of mesopredator sightings decrease. These results are thought to be significant as our calculated standard error bars do not overlap and have a fair gap in between them. This act of mesopredator suppression could be a result of the increased competition between the apex and mesopredators. However, it could also be caused by sampling error. Upon further observation, camera trapping sites did not seem to be evenly distributed across the United States. In fact, sites seem to be skewed in both location and in conduction days to favor the natural habitat of U.S. bear species. Out of the 109 research sites surveyed, only 67 of them had 1 or more apex predators. In 30 of those sites, bears represented at least 50% of the apex predators present, and in 11 sites, they represented more than 65% of apex predators present. Those 11 sites represent mountainous areas with an abundance of black bear populations, and if they are excluded, a dramatic effect can be seen in the results. Here we see the continued steady reduction of mesopredator abundance as apex predator species increases. However, the standard error bars between 0 apex predators and 1 apex predator have approached a slight overlap. This suggests that when abnormal sites with an overabundance of black bears in comparison to other apex species are excluded, the case for our hypothesis may be weakened. Apex predators are an important part of the trophic cascade and may participate in mesopredator suppression. Our results suggest that as species abundance of apex predators within a testing site increases, total mesopredator abundance decreases. However, due to possible bias in testing site demographics and abundance of black bear sightings, standard error may overlap, causing our attempt to demonstrate a direct relationship to be inconclusive. To prove our hypothesis, Further camera trapping should be conducted in a more uniform manner across the country in both testing site distribution and total camera trapping days. However, at this time, it appears that the presence of apex predators does reduce mesopredator abundance. Special thanks to all that participated in the SnapShot USA 2019 project and eMammal for providing all data used in this research.